Hello, everyone. Welcome as you gather into this space. Welcome to Intimate Conversations. I am your host, Dani Tirrell. I hope your what's today? Saturday is doing you well. It is a Saturday, folks. I'm just gonna type in some information really quick, and we will be on our way. And let me make sure I have this correct. Yes. There. Awesome. Hello, Michael B. Main. That's for you all. As we wait for our guests to come in today, I am so shiny right now, but it is okay. I'm going to do things a little different today. Let me just be quite honest with you all. This has been a very difficult week. It has been a very hard week. It has been a week that let me just start here. I'm trying to make sure Milvia is not calling me. Let me just start here. Seattle has lost a very dear person. They were one of the co-founders of Hitmo, which was a restaurant community space. Hitmo was around before I moved here, but I got to meet Rawa Habate, and I hope I'm saying her name correctly. She passed away yesterday. It is a huge loss to our community. It is a huge loss. Rawa was a beautiful spirit, human being, and anytime that I encountered her, it was always in love. It was always in just a space of respect and encouragement. So to lose her, it is extremely devastating to our community here in Seattle and across the world. So this show today will be in honor of Rawa, a fantastic human being who, much like us, just lived through our human experience. So if you don't know Rawa, and if you don't know anything about Rawa, please look her up. Her family is, they have a GoFundMe, and I will try my best to type that in. If you go to GoFundMe and you look up Rawa's name, they are trying to raise money for her funeral expenses, I believe. So anything will help, will work. Trust me, if you did not get a chance to meet her, you missed a really great human being, in my opinion. So yes, I posted that in the comment section. So definitely, if you have some money to spare and you want to help out with Rawa's expenses, please. And I spelled her name wrong. Forgive me. I will correct that. I was typing way too fast. There. Rawa, there you go. I want to honor her. So that is what's happening today. We also lost Chadwick Boseman, the actor who was in Get On Up. He played, I believe, Jackie Robinson, Thurgood Marshall. In Marshall, he also was the lead actor and star of Black Panther. He passed away of colon cancer. Again, as we wait for Milvia to join us, I just want to pay honor and respect. I'm changing things up a little bit because I can, and it's my show. And I'm just going to do what Right now, um, it is. Hi, Milvia. We're just getting started. Um,
Hello, Daddy.
yes, it is a very hard time for Black bodies in this country right now and across the world. And I'm just going to read some names to you. Um, Dustin Parker, McAllister, Alexa Luciano Ruiz, Yapi Mendez, Aro Cho, and I hope I'm saying her name correct. Monica Diamond, Lexi, Joanna Metzger, Penelope Diaz Ramirez, Nina Pop, Tony McDade, Dominique Remy Fells, Rhea Milton, Tamira Rice, Breonna Taylor, Atiana, I hope I'm saying that correctly, Jefferson, Ora Rosa, Stephen Clark, Botham Jean, Janisha Fonville, Gabriela Navarez, Tanisha Anderson, Jacob Blake, who has survived but paralyzed, Mercy Mack, Brayla Stone, Tiffany Harris, Summer Taylor, Shakia Peters. These are just a few names of ooh, these are just a few names of Black bodies that have been killed. Um, and the sad part is that I rarely do this in this way, and I'm sorry. I'm not sorry. I'm not apologizing. I'm not sorry. Um, and I don't want to take time from Milvia, but I don't want to enter this conversation and pretend like we are okay. Um, I do not want to pretend like Black women are okay, that Black trans women and trans men are okay. I do not want to pretend that our Black siblings that are of Latin descent, Chicano, are okay. I don't want to pretend like this is not happening anymore. And I've never pretended like it did happen. This year has been difficult for all of us. Um, and with the passing of Rawa, who was in our community, um, I'm just kind of over the edge right now. And I just wanted to bring those people into the space. Again, that's not even a full list of names of people. And most of that is just this year alone. Um, and I will say this, and we will move on to Milvia because I do want to honor your time, Milvia. I do want to say that we have to be honest. White people can go in and kill up and shoot up any and everybody, and somehow they continue to walk away alive. I'm going to say that again. White people continue to cause the most harm, and they kill and openly kill people, and they tend to always walk away alive. They actually kill people, and they walk away alive. Black people can commit misdemeanors and somehow wind up dead. Black people can resist arrest, but they wind up dead. White people can resist arrest, actually physically assault the police officers, and they somehow still continue to be alive. So if you don't think that there is a race problem in this world, then you need to get your head out your ass today. So again, I just needed to say that because I, along with probably millions and millions of other Black people, we are exhausted to the point of disbelief that we have to continue to go through this all the time. And if you care for Black bodies the way that you say that you care for Black bodies, then now it is time for you to do something, be it go out and vote, be it shutting down your family members who are racist and transphobic and all of the things. You need to do something. Milvia, I do apologize, but
You
I
don't
just
need to
couldn't.
apologize. You don't need to apologize. That it is important to acknowledge. And any conversations that we start, we have to start to bring in the issues that is concerned and closer to us, that is grieving. We are grieving all the time, and we have of this. This is part of the work. Part
Right.
of the work as a Black communities anywhere. This is part of the work, bring awareness of all our sisters, all our people that is being killed, and the repeated act of violence in our communities, and also space to grieve and space to call our ancestors and name all these people, all those brothers and sisters that been passing away through violence. We need to call, bringing them presence and naming to create visibility, and also to hold in our heart, to hold in our mouth, in our sounds, to hold and bring in restoration in some way, and claim for restorations for all those lives that have been leaving this planet early because violence.
Yes, thank you. That is so true. Milvia, I'm gonna say your entire name and I'm not gonna mess up. Milvia Berenice Pacheco Salvatierra.
Good. Good
Did I do
try.
good?
Yeah, it's Berenice, but it's Milvia
Berenice.
Berenice Pacheco
Berenice.
Salvatierra.
I was close. I was practicing all the time. I had been practicing. You I'm gonna start with here. um Thank you, Naomi. I see you. Black love looks like the current of the rivers that never stop despite the geography of the terrain. It looks like a dagger that goes through the bodies and when it comes out becomes songs and dances. It looks like a glassless mirror that can reflect the invisible walls of a systematic oppression and racism. It looks like open breast filled with warm milk that breastfeeds and nourishes the entire humanity. That line right there alone is so beautiful. I will keep reading. I'm gonna read that line again because that right there hit me. Black love, it looks like open breast filled with warm milk that breastfeeds and nourishes the entire humanity. Whew, whew. It looks like gospel, calypso, fiesto,
Festejo.
festejo. Help me out,
Yes,
Milvia.
yes, yes.
Hip hop, punta, blues, Fandango, Soca, Samba, Tango, Reggae, Bossa Nova, Candombe,
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 Batucada,
Buchada,
Batucada,
Buchada,
Afrobeat,
Buchada, yeah, Afrobeat, ch-
Culo'e Puja,
say that
Culo,
again,
Culo'e Puja,
Culo'e Puja, thank you, and
Currulao, Currulao,
Currulao. You're educating me today on my Spanish. Tamborito,
Tamborito,
Merengue, Timba, Qui,
Quitiplas,
Quitiplas. I love this. Cumbia.
Chimbangle.
Chimbangle, tap, and many other rhythms that I obviously need to know, dances and sounds that are created with or without a drum, but with the rhythm of the drums, beats of the spirit heart. It looks like a concentric circle of sister brotherhood that is supported by the planted roots of our ancestors, which at the same time support the bare feet of their descendants and embrace with their outstretched arms the black dysphoria, Milvia, that balances the seeds of historical awareness of black culture between their fingers. They look at himself as a powerful love, a God love that represents themselves as an androgynous being with a skirt made of water surrounding their hips, a bronze armor on their chest, and a crown of fire on their head. It looks like a flexible and primable love, I hope I said that right, that accommodates and transforms into a multiplicity of forms. This is how Black love looks to me. I don't even know where to start. I don't even know where to end. I don't know where to start with you because, one, you are just a powerful person. Every time that I talk to you, there's power. When you wrote this, so everyone, I asked each person for intimate conversations to answer this question, what Black love looks like to them. And this was Milvia's response. And it is beautiful.
I would like to read this Spanish because originally I wrote in Spanish, and then I felt like in the translation it is a different step and different space, the images that bring for me, and I would like to do in Spanish because that was the way that come through my spirit talk to me. ¿Cómo se ve el amor negro? Se mira como la corriente de los ríos que no se detiene nunca ante la geografía del terreno. Se mira como una daga que atraviesa los cuerpos y que al salir se vuelve canto y danza. Se mira como un espejo sin vidrio que puede reflejar las paredes invisibles de la opresión sistemática y del racismo. Se mira como unos pechos abiertos, llenos de leche tibia, que amamantan y nutren la humanidad entera. Se mira como gospel, calypso, festejo, hip hop, punta, blue, fandango, soca, samba, tango, reggae, bossa nova, quitiplas, cumbia, chimbangle, tap y tantos otros ritmos, danzas y sones que son creados con o sin tambores, pero con el ritmo del corazón espiritual. Se mira como un círculo concéntrico de hermandad que se sostiene por las raíces plantadas de nuestros ancestros, que a su vez sostienen los pies desnudos de sus descendientes y abrazan con los brazos extendidos la diáspora negra que entre sus dedos balancean las semillas de la historia consciente de la cultura negra. Se mira como un amor poderoso, un amor Dios que se representa a sí mismo como un ser andrógino con falda de agua que rodea sus caderas, armadura de bronce en su pecho y corona de fuego en su cabeza. Se mira como un amor flexible y permeable, que se acomoda y se transforma en una multiplicidad de formas. Así se ve para mí el amor negro.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Now I'm like, just breathe. I am a mess today, people, and I'm not going to apologize about that. What I'm learning to do is not to apologize. Milvia, the first question I have is, what are you bringing into the space today, and who are you bringing in the space today?
Well, I bring it myself with all my grief, my love, my passion, my artistry. I bring my warrior ancestors, my grandma, my auntie, my grandma María de Lourdes Salvatierra Álvarez. I bring in I also gonna bring my father today. My father passed
Mm,
away. My father passed away 2 years ago in January, and I think it was a long process for me of grieving. And I've been uh, lighting his spirit and healing our relationship. Have
mm,
a lot of healings to do with male energy, relationship, and intimacy. And I want to bring him to the space. Today we start to talk about, all the violence in our communities. And it is sometimes because it's so evident and so strong, the violence through our community. Sometimes we forgot to talk about the violence inside of our community, product of that violence that come from outside.
right.
And and I want to bring him because these years have been a year of healing that relationship. And when I talk about Black love, I think it is also a love for my father. It is part of this Black
Mm,
love, and then that healing. When I say it, well, sometimes it is look like a dagger that go through the bodies and
right.
become canto and become songs and dance. It is all those pains that sometimes become love.
Mhm,
Those kind those not the pain, but the experience through that help us through love go through and
right.
understand the love in the maximum of experience. It's like, oh my God, if this Black body can love and we really
Right.
understand what is love is and how we can transform violence in love and how we can transform pain in songs and dance. And I bring his presence and my relationship with the healing relationships that I've been having
Mm,
through this year in relationship of the male energy in my life. Um, I Yeah, that's our other thing. I bring my poetry, my
mhm,
my gratitude, my happiness, and my pain, and all those emotions together to this space to be in connection with you.
thank you.
And
Thank you, Milvia. Um, I don't even want to answer that question. I was going to say, how are you doing today? And that's just that's a hard question for bodies with so many intersections. And it's such a hard question because we are some of everything. We are good, we are bad, we are happy, we are sad, we are beauty, we are ugly. And I think to now ask Black bodies that question, it's hard for me to just be like, how are you today? Because we have so much going on.
I
Um,
know the other day I was in a conference, listening a conference about crisis and mental health, and how
yeah,
go through the COVID-19. And I know one of the things, one of my reflections in the end is say like, whoa, I felt like I've been in crisis my entire life. I
yeah,
naturalized crisis, and I've been really like trying to understand. And of course, through the work, the art that I do, it's been that platform that helped me to balance what is
right,
really the balance of mental health and the crisis, and then uh, not just based on social or the values critical of health medicine say what is
right,
mental health, like because I think like sometimes if I'm being all the time the crazies of my house. In my house I was the
right,
loca. Milvia está la loca de la casa.
yeah,
So I was the crazy
ooh,
one. And
ooh,
I felt
yeah,
like that craziest one is because I was always trying to push again of normalized crisis. It's like, oh,
right,
this look like normal. This look like you are crazy because I'm actually and questioning this state this state as a something natural, this state
right,
of confinement, this state of that really hard internalizations about who we are and then all the things.
Right.
It's a bit like, no, I'm pushing this, and doesn't mean that I'm
Mm.
crazy. But we trying to say, well, what is this limit? And when you are all the time being in crisis and you normalize the
Mhm.
crisis, or what is this space where you are, no, you are pushing these boundaries that say that you are crazy, to say, no,
Yeah.
I'm not crazy, I'm pushing this because I need to be myself.
Right.
And
Thank you for that. I mean, that is so true. Yeah, just the point of just living through crisis all the time and questioning yourself and what pulls you through those moments?
dance.
Yeah.
Being collaboration,
Hmm.
being moving, being investigating, being I think like when I cannot dance, I create another crisis. When I cannot move myself, when I in that situation where I cannot be in a space of movement, and then I found new ways to move. Like I painted, I wrote,
Right.
but I continue to be moments what inspire that movement and impulse what inspire those process of creation. I think being constant creation, I think is part of ways to be in love with myself. It's just
Right.
generating. And the other it is pray, be connecting with ancestors. I feel like
Mhm.
when I feel like I'm lost on those spaces where I just get caught off of my habit or feel victimize myself, when I felt like it is the pain is so it is unbearable. I connect with spirits and try to do work with spirits, um, and also friends. Like I felt like I have my friends are my mirrors, and my
Mm.
bridges, my hammock, the one that I can
I love that. Yeah.
hold the space for me. I think moments of crisis art in the different different forms that I've been accesses is being
Hmm.
what is giving me the tool to overcome crisis, and also
Right.
understand how navigate the system, and how tune with my intuition and that knowledge that it is all my body ready through the pass by from my ancestors, and I felt like it through that tool I access to that knowledge and that information, and that helped me to like okay, give me answers to and tool to overcome crisis.
Right. You said something that really struck me. You said that I create to fall in love with myself, or creating is a way to fall in love with myself. And I have not yet heard anyone say that. Can you talk about that a little bit more? Because that even helps with like crisis. Like the more that you can fall in love with yourself, I think the more that you can move through crisis in a different way. And I'm not going to say easier, but you can move through crisis in a different way. And that when you said that, it just struck a chord in me as like part of the creating process is so that you can know yourself, but then to fall in love with yourself. Just your take on that a little bit more.
Well, I think I've been learning about myself on through engage on art making
Hmm.
process, and those making art process have given me answers to understand what are the part of me and I'm conflict with. And
Right.
when I start to dance, for example, I start to dance because was something inside me that I didn't even understand, that I was really cultivate and excited just to let it be. And I was like, I when I started to dance, I was 17 years old. I was ready. when I started to train as a contemporary dancer. I was 17 years, and I went to with my pajamas. Someone said, "You should do contemporary dance," and they say, "You just bring comfortable clothes." And I bring my pajamas.
I love it.
And I show up in a studio with my pajamas to try to
Yes.
follow movements. And then just that experience was so um, uh, liberator. It was so generate something in me, like something that was clocked inside of me, half a space would even be able to process, just
Right.
express through movement. And that I feel like that was like something like oh, I found something that make me feel good. And then that make me feel good, make me feel in peace in some way, generate some peace, internal peace, that say, okay, you if you feel something like this, it's because something is okay with you. And those
Right.
tension of teenager feel like no inadequate, no beauty, because I was black woman in Latin America, that have this concept of colorism, and as much black you are, less beauty you feel. and
Right.
um, and it was like dance create that space for me where I feel content with myself, or that with that feeling experience.
Mm.
And then through dance, I start to do dance and theater, and then I start to
Right.
think, okay, well, there is all these questions inside me, and I really need to investigate about this voice. What is those voices are inside me? And then when I continue working through different techniques and companies in this space, I was trying to say, like, what is this voice that is trying to say? I want to find my own voice as an artist.
Right.
And then I think the process of finding my own voice as an artist, it is becoming a process of identity. It's a process to understand my own identity. And I think that
Exactly.
that process, that learn how to know who I was, conform my fears, conform all those things that are the status quos of the art and the status quo of the society, questioning and creating more question, was creating answers that allow me to see myself more a whole, and
Right.
understand who I am in relationship to others. And that creates some kind of peace inside that make me feel like oh, actually I start to understand that well, I'm a black woman, and I'm a
Right.
black woman in that system. And then when I understand, I start to say, like, there's not something wrong with me, it's something wrong with the system. And then
Mm.
that was through a process of creation, or through a process of investigate all those questions, through music, through dance, to poetry, to painting. And then as much answers I get, it was like more space to have to these internal voices to shut up and then feel the
Right.
wholeness of myself. And that feel the wholeness of myself, it is allow me to feel more love to myself, to feel like
Mm.
oh, I can it's like a, and
Mm.
also be a mother also too, because
Yeah.
that can feel like oh, I can see this person that is battle to being seen, and I can
Mm.
guide myself to see myself, because it is about me be able to see myself, and then
Right.
say, I allow you then to do things and create from those voices that are scary, because all the voices that in general society try push you to hide. You have
Right.
all this internalization of the thinking of how you should be a successful artist, or what are the kind of art that you should be doing. And then when you step on those space, I felt like that process of know yourself is also a process of learning to love yourself and be brave enough to show up,
Mm.
to show up in the way that
Right.
your process are. And I think that it is for me the process of self love. They give you the permission to show off those voices that in the first time you feel like you want to hide. That are the voices
Mm.
when you allow yourself to give it a space for them to talk,
Right.
then it's like a reconciliation. It's like, I don't have to fight anyway with this.
Right.
I can allow myself to do things and express things and create things from things that maybe come from my fear, maybe come from my
Right.
pain, maybe come from my anger, and be okay with that, and then be in conversation with that, and then that conversation give a sense of love, give me a sense of love, give a sense of like, oh, it is no acceptation in the like me resigno. I don't know why I say
Right.
that, but it's not like I'm resigno to say no. I'm see you and in conversation with this process, and I able to overcome this fear, overcome this anger through that conversation with myself in relationship
Right.
of this other thing. And I think that is what make me fall in love with, and it's constant. It's not something like, oh, I'm full in love all the
Right.
time with myself. And
Right.
then the fear continued, but I felt like when I see in retrospective how I saw myself 20 years ago, that I was maybe in tour in so many different countries with a company for dancing for 2,000 people, and
Right.
be more like this dancer, concert dancer, that people think that it is how I should look. I felt like how I
Mm.
felt in that moment and how I feel now, that I'm the double of the way at that moment, that I dance so often on the stage, but the product and the collaborations and the work that I do has so much meaningful and has so much space for me to heal, that it is make me feel love for the process that I embrace, and love for
Right.
the people that embrace those process, and love to myself.
Thank you. Like, okay, so let me just start here, folks. You're watching. I've pinned Milvia's Venmo down there. Um, Milvia is giving you a beautiful life lesson right now about self love and art. So if you feel the need to make sure Milvia has some money in her pocket, go to her Venmo and drop her $10, $20, $2,000, $5,000, whatever you have. Just drop it because Milvia is giving you some really beautiful life lessons right now, and this is why I'm always excited to talk to her. And also, the funny thing is, you've pretty much answered every question that I wrote down. Like, I'm just like, okay, I don't need to ask you anything because you are literally answering all the questions that I wrote down, and I love that. I love when the clarity comes, and I'm just like, okay, I just opened the door. You talked about, I want to go back to your son. I adore your son so much. I adore that little human so much. Um,
He adore you too. Hey, this is Dani.
yeah.
You're gonna talk with Dani. Okay, I'm gonna be in silent here. Okay. Exactly. Thank you.
uh, such a sweet spirit. I want to touch back on the lessons that you are learning and the lessons you are introducing your son to, because that is a smart person right there. That person is like, just get some things. Um, what are you, as a person living in this world? What lessons are you introducing your son to, and what is your son introducing to you?
Okay, a lot. Patience is one of those lessons. Like it really become mother. It is also become patient, not just with the other, but with yourself. And then
Right.
like you have all these preconceived ideas of how you want motherhood goal, and what are the things that you never, ever, ever gonna do.
Right.
And then you are there.
Yes, yes, yes.
You are there, and you realize that, well, one thing is what do you want and how you project yourself, and other thing is where you are, and for
Mm,
painful that can be,
Right.
The only things that go through is with patience and also intention. Like, okay, I understand that I'm not in that place that I thought I was,
Right.
but recognize that being a king has been a really important, being mother of these child that has so much personality, so much strength and power and love, because I
Mm.
think I can bring a lot of love and personality. I've been one
Yeah.
of the things that he been taught me, like just be patient, like and trust
Mm.
that in everything that you are being doing, it is things that is gonna plan is being planned on him. I think as a mother, one of the things that as a mother also of a black child here in Seattle, I was
Right.
really like, I do really want my child to speak Spanish. He's a black boy, but it is also Latino. His biological
Yeah.
father is from Senegal, and he have this really strong African root. And I'm from Venezuela, identify like La Negra as Afro descendant of Latina. And
Hmm.
one of the things that was important for me was that he keep Spanish as a language, even though that is a colonial, like it is a language that I inherit from my colonial, for the Spain's colonial.
Right.
I felt like that is my tongue, my mother tongue language, and
Yeah.
I do really want in her pass on that language to my child, and he be able to speak Spanish.
Mm.
The other thing that I was also super strong, and when I was like, well, I want my child as black boy also questioning
Mhm.
genders spectrums, and
Right.
trying to bring him on spaces and trying to be with him in spaces where he understands that what society impose to gender, it is not true. It's an imposition, it's a construction, and that he can be fluent on that. But this is also the same thing. It's a desire that I have, but because I'm a cisgender too, and there is, I know that I have so much preconcept, so much
Right.
internalizations of things that I even have, that my wanted is that, but I've been realized that I've been learning with him what are those things that are so much inside me that I don't even
Oh,
realize
right. Yeah.
that
Yeah. Yeah.
I give some kind of continuity. And that is being also something that is being beautiful process with a king, like things like kind of bring skirts, kind of painting my lips, kind of, and I say yes, yes, yes. But then when someone, I know they have experience, someone like his father says something, is like, or what all those things
Right.
bring to me, and make the decisions to move forward with like whatever it is, opposition even inside of my
Mhm.
family, not center, say like, this is what I want to give to my child, and I give the possibility of him embrace also genders in different ways. Like one of my closer friends of him, it is that he consider his brother, his uncle, it is a transgender friend, and he's been teaching him a lesson, and then teaching us
Mm.
a lesson, and how understand,
Mm.
and how embrace love, and to how embrace gender definition through the sense of love, through the sense of like, oh, I I I I I embrace these differences. I
Right.
embrace this not a concept, but it's through this relationship, through understanding that,
Mm.
because I feel like this being also something for me important for my child, and also as a
Mhm.
black boy, like opening the possibility that he relay with his energy, his female energy,
Mm, yes.
can develop and can feel like it. He don't need to hide it. He don't need to he don't need to see it in one way, but discover. And
Right.
yeah, and that's been a beautiful journey, for us.
I love that. One of my fondest memories, and first off, thank you for placing a beautiful, gifted, loving black child on this world for us. Like sometimes we ignore the fact what mothers do, um, and I say that because it was almost a year ago. In November, it'd be a year ago, and I will never forget this memory. It was after a showing out performance. We were downstairs, and Akeem was also assisting me that day. Like, was like, I'm going to help you. Okay, great. So, and then at the end, he was like, okay, so are you going to help me get my show together? And I was like, okay, sure. Like, that's what you want to do. Like, for me, I'm like, great. What I did not realize he was saying was like, I'm going to do it now.
I know.
And so it was the most beautiful thing. And for those of us that witnessed that, what happened, the space kind of cleared. It was probably about 20 or so of us left. Our technician Dom, our tech manager Dom, him and Akeem had some soundtrack. Akeem wanted the song and literally put on a performance for all of us. And it was the most inspiring thing to see, and the freedom that this little person has. And again, I just thank you for that, because without you, we would not have been able to understand the beauty of that child without you pouring into that. So I'm really grateful for you for that moment, which will be a moment that I will never, ever, ever forget in my life, ever. That performance was pretty amazing. I was just like, what just happened? Like, I'm like, you stole the show. Like, I forgot what else happened after Akeem like did that beautiful performance. But the fun was like, you're gonna help me get my performance together, and I was like, sure. And I was like, oh, you mean like now? Like,
I
now I'm
know.
like,
He produced in 5 minutes. He produced his solo
yes,
performance. He talked with the technicians and asked permission for you to use the space. And then he
yes,
says to the audience, "Okay, open the space, and now it's my turn."
yes. And what did we do? We opened the space and moved out of the way because we already knew. Like, there was no fighting. There was no any of that. Um, it is also a testament to you. Anytime that I'm in your presence, it is truly life. You are thoughtful, you are honest, you are you are a lot of times what I strive to be, and I mean that in all sincerity. Today's just an emotional day. Um,
I hug
Milvia,
you.
I really thank you. I really, really, really thank you. You don't understand what you do when I'm in your presence. Um, and I appreciate you so much. I love you so much. I appreciate everything that you do and everything that you say, because it is so rooted in spirit. It is so rooted in truth and honesty. It is so rooted in love. And it is rare to have people like you walk the earth. It is so rare. And I just want you to know you are such a value. Um,
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. It's been a journey, and thank you. I remember the first time that I met you was with Naomi invited us to conspire, and
yeah,
um, and then
yeah,
that was really I knew your work, and knew a little bit about what City do and the Dani Tirrell. But that's the first time that I was in your
Yeah.
presence, facing to faces, was a really powerful moment also for me. I think that admiration, it is mutual. I do really admire your bravery. I think that it is really
Thank you.
important, the space that you opened for all Black artists here in the city. And I think it is important, so also feel the confidence of being raw, the confidence
Right.
of being like vulnerable and open and touch it when there
Yes.
is need to be taught, like
Right.
that bravery, I think, inspired me to. I felt like what I say a little bit in my poem, it is this process. I felt like I discovered that the only thing that I can advance is being truthful. If I'm not truthful to myself and
Mm,
I'm not truthful on the work that we do, it is really, it takes more time.
yeah.
It
Yeah.
takes forever sometimes. Although I say, okay, let's sit down and say that shit is true. I'm doing and say that I'm doing this, but I'm doing this.
Right.
All right,
Right.
let's be truthful, no? And I feel like I get that also when I see you. I
Well,
feel
thank you.
reflected through.
Thank you. Everybody, we are really out of time. Unfortunately, this conversation did not go the way we planned things, and it goes the way that it needs to go. Again, if you don't know Milvia, if this is your first introduction to her, this is a force, this is a powerhouse, this is someone that you need to know. Milvia will also be a part of Showing Out, um, which will happen November 20th through the 22nd, and we will have more details. Milvia has a lot of work brewing with Naomi Makalada with Conspire. That is coming up and coming back in different ways. Stay tuned. Again, if you, not if, I know you got something important out of this conversation. I know, then go back and re-look at this conversation because Milvia dropped some really beautiful nuggets about self-love, about truth and being truthful for yourself, about what it is being a mother. You and I will have to talk again because there are some other questions that I had, but everything that you said today was what we all needed to hear. You can go to Venmo at Milvia Pacheco. I'm gonna get it right.
Pacheco, you get it right.
Pacheco.
One last thing, Danny, before we close, because I think there is something that I want to bring
Hmm.
forward. That I'm one of the things that I'm happy to be on this showing up and in this city platform right now is that being Latina and being in this platform for Black, it is something that I felt like. When someone see you, it's like, yes, it's a feeling of like, oh, I've been recognized as a Black artist. I'm so happy for that.
Yes,
Uh,
yes,
I'm so happy for that because I think that it is an important conversation
right,
that need to happen in our communities, and me be here. I felt like it is a bridge for those conversations to happen
yes,
too, and I just want to bring this forward because I do really, it is really exciting me for me to be able to enter in a conversations with the Black artists here in Seattle as a Black artist, and then also to open conversation about these separations on these walls that is
right,
well in terms of ethnicities and all those things. And I just wanted to bring that. I know that it's going to be a bunch of opportunities coming for have
right.
conversations like this about blackness in that all the different communities that embrace blackness and the diff
Exactly.
and the differences and similarities of those communities.
Yes, I love the fact that you brought. And again, it's like I'm. It's so much I wanted to say, but also I know when to allow spirit to move, and spirit always moves through you. With CD form and with showing out, yes, we talk about Black artists, and we know that Black artists come from multiracial, multi-generational, multi-faith, multi-everything background. So as we honor those parts of you from the African diaspora, we honor those Latina parts of you. We honor those ancestors, because without those ancestors, you would not be here today, and we would not be doing this work. So it is, yes, it is about uplifting Black artists, but we completely understand that you are not just a Black artist, and we welcome all parts of you into this space. And that also what makes Black folks so damn beautiful. Like,
They
we
do.
we come from so many different places and spaces, and the diaspora reaches far and wide. And so we are not just talking about Blackness that is held in the United States. We are talking about Blackness that is held inside of America, the continent,
Mm-hmm.
and also outside of the
Mm-hmm.
continent of America. And so I'm honored that we are able to assist you in this platform, because I think you're dope, personally. Little bias. I think you're dope. I think you're awesome. And I know there's a bunch of other people that think you're awesome. So we just want more people to understand your awesomeness. My last question for you, and then my last question for you today, and also again, Venmo at Milvia Pacheco, at Milvia-Pacheco, that's Venmo. It's at Milvia-Pacheco. Throw her some coin, throw her some money to help create the dopeness that she is as a mother and as an artist. My last question for you today: what is your joy?
My joy.
Yes.
My joy.
What is that joy?
Oh my goodness. You know, I feel like I can fake that question. I can say because I felt like I'm in the process of reconnecting with my joy. I felt I lost my, even though I'm this smiley person that you see me,
Right.
you see smiling. So
Right.
and I think that I connect with my content, and I connect with that. There is something deep on that of course dance is part of that bring that. My child is part of that bring that. And I'm sometimes just like be in the water in the river, just feeling
No,
the current of the river on my body. I bring this when I dance salsa. It's like I bring that joy. And
I love it.
it is different when I'm in complicity with my friends, in a way that they catch me, that I feel like I don't need to explain, and then rather it's
Yeah.
eyes that are commenting. It's bringing me joy. It's these spaces where I can be in a conversation with people that I admire, bring me joy. But I felt like I'm in a process of reconnecting with this,
Right.
with that, with the internal full joy.
Mm.
When I'm doing altars or writing, and then I read those. It's been joy when my child speak of me back in a way that he reflect love to me, bring joy. And then
Love.
he kiss me and say, Mom, I love you.
Mm.
That's been, that bring me joy. When I eat plantain, I,
Yes.
plantain and avocado bring me joy. When I can wake up and then can feel like, oh, I can even be intimate with myself. I can be intimate with
Right.
myself. and don't feel like it's something is lack. Bring me joy. Uh,
We have like
but yeah,
15 seconds left.
15 seconds. No, I
It's
tell all
counting
those things that
down.
is
Yes.
coming down. Okay, that's all the things, but I still be in process to
Thank you
reconnect.
all. Have a beautiful day.